It begins not with a legend, nor with a myth, but with an echo that resonates through time, hidden beneath layers of silt and stone, whispering to those willing to listen. We were here, long before Plato etched his dialogues into history, stories of a lost world, a place of unimaginable beauty, wealth, and power floated among the ancient priesthoods and mystics. They spoke of a civilization that rose like a crystal lotus from the ocean, glowing with brilliance, only to sink beneath the waves in a single night of wrath and sorrow. Atlantis. But what if it was never simply a cautionary tale of greed and hubris? What if it was a deliberate veil, woven to hide forbidden knowledge from a humanity deemed unready? What if beneath the ruins of myth lay blueprints of a reality that could liberate or destroy us? Today, whispers from newly decoded tablets, submerged anomalies, and channeled memories converge with one message. Atlantis was real. It was not lost by accident. Its knowledge was hidden to protect it from us. This is not just a story about a sunken kingdom. It is about who they were, what they built, why they fell, and most importantly, why their legacy matters now. So take a breath, dive deep, listen to the echoes beneath the waves. For Atlantis calls to those who still remember. Most Atlantis begins with Plato's Timaeus and Critias, but the philosopher himself claimed he was merely a transmitter of an older truth passed to Solon by Egyptian priests. Their words were deliberate. You Greeks are like children. You remember nothing of what was. In the halls of Neith's temple, it says, they spoke of a civilization predating Egypt's own grand antiquity, a land of gods and giants, where humans were seated with knowledge by star travelers. They told Solon of an empire beyond the Pillars of Hercules, greater than Asia and Libya combined, that ruled over islands and continents, and whose influence reached deep into Europe and Africa. Atlantean cosmology. Atlanteans viewed themselves as children of Poseidon, god of seas and earthquakes. But beneath this myth lay deeper esoteric truths. In their teachings, Poseidon was not merely an Olympian god. He was a cosmic engineer, an advanced being from a distant star system, who arrived to stabilize the oceans and prepare Earth for intelligent life. Atlantis was designed as an energy grid node, its concentric rings aligned with lunar tides and magnetic fields to regulate planetary frequency. They believed their civilization existed not merely on Earth, but for Earth, acting as keepers of balance in the cosmic ecosystem. The gods who engineered Atlantis' many cultures hint at gods descending from the stars. Dogon of Mali speak of Namo. From Sirius B.Sumerians speak of Anunnaki. From Nibiru, Atlanteans spoke of the Elohim and the Golden Swans from the Pleiades. These beings did not arrive with brute force, but with harmonics weaving energy with matter to create temples, pyramids, and crystalline networks. Atlantis was their masterpiece, a beacon city, to integrate spiritual evolution with material mastery. But as we shall see, such perfection was fragile, and the seeds of its demise were sown even in its creation. The Atlantean Golden Age was a time when technology and consciousness coexisted seamlessly. Their greatest secret lay not in mechanical engineering, but in crystal resonance. Technology, the power of crystals. Atlanteans knew that crystals were not inert decorations. Quartz, selenite, and other crystalline structures formed the backbone of their energy grid, enabling wireless energy transfer. Massive crystal pylons channeled telluric currents to power homes, transportation pods, and levitation crafts. Healing chambers. Patients lay within geodesic crystal domes where vibrational frequencies repaired DNA, cured disease, and rejuvenated the mind. Communication arrays. Using crystal harmonics, they communicated not just across continents, but into the stars, tapping interdimensional frequencies beyond. Electromagnetic spectrum. Temples of light. Atlantean temples were not merely places of worship. They were biogeometric capacitors. Sacred geometry infused with crystalline lattice created structures that amplified consciousness, enabling priests and priestesses to access cosmic records, channel advanced teachings, and maintain harmony between humanity and the planetary grid. Integration of spirituality and technology Like modern societies that separate science from spirit, Atlanteans viewed technology as an extension of consciousness, a crystal only activated to its fullest potential when imbued with intention and love. It was said that high priests could levitate giant crystal obelisks with sound alone, their chants harmonizing with the crystal's frequency, unlocking gravitational counterfields asterisk, but as their mastery grew, so did their temptation to bend natural laws for personal gain. The light of Atlantis was bright, but shadows formed behind every radiance. Atlanteans were not uniform. Their society was divided into three primary classes: priests and priestesses of light, stewards of cosmic knowledge, adept in telepathy, crystal, harmonics, and healing arts. They wore robes woven with gold filaments, enhancing their biofield conductivity. Engineers and technicians, masters of crystal-based machinery, levitation crafts, and energy field manipulation. Their temples doubled as laboratories, where metaphysics and quantum science were one. The common people, artisans, farmers, traders, educated in spiritual basics. Their lives blessed with abundance under the priesthood's guidance, their physical and psychic abilities. Atlanteans had a taller average stature than modern humans. With lithe builds and heightened neural capacity, children learned telepathic communication as a primary skill before verbal speech. DNA activation techniques expanded their pineal gland function, enabling them to see the auric fields of plants, animals, and fellow humans. Atlantean society was not perfect. Their brilliance bred arrogance, and hierarchies formed, isolating knowledge from the masses. Elite priesthoods began genetic experimentation, merging animals and humans in attempts to create obedient workers. These hybrid experiments fractured their moral code, shaking the foundations of their civilization, education, and consciousness. Expansion children entered crystalline learning chambers where geometric light patterns activated dormant genetic codes. Education was not memorization, but resonance, aligning one's frequency with cosmic truths to download knowledge directly into the mind. Their greatest fear was stagnation. Their greatest flaw was hubris. As their consciousness rose, so did their ability to manipulate reality, but in their pride, they forgot the cardinal law. With great knowledge comes greater responsibility, perhaps. Atlantis' most guarded secret was its Stargate technology. Interdimensional travel Atlanteans understood. That Earth is not isolated in space-time, but intersects with countless dimensions, using crystalline arches embedded with specific frequency-coded glyphs. They created stable portals connecting Earth to Mars and Venus. Ancient texts hint at their colonies and mining operations on nearby planets, Earth 2 Sirius and Pleiades, home worlds of their progenitor gods. For diplomatic and educational exchanges, Earth to Inner Earth civilizations. Hollow Earth myths stem from Atlantean knowledge of subterranean networks inhabited by Agarthans. Temple portals. Certain temples functioned as interdimensional hubs. High initiates, with purified minds and precise vibrational alignment, could pass through without molecular disintegration. Passage required chanting codes that aligned personal frequency with the destination realm. These chants were lost with Atlantis' destruction, or deliberately hidden to prevent misuse. The forbidden experiments near their end. Rogue priests sought to open portals to chaotic realms to harness dark energy for power. Their failure tore dimensional rifts, destabilizing the planetary grid and accelerating Atlantis' downfall. The gods withdrew, seeing humanity unready for such knowledge. The priesthood's secrecy was not solely for control, but to prevent existential threats beyond human comprehension. The beginning of the end, as millennia passed, Atlantis' spiritual foundation eroded under the weight of its own brilliance. The priesthood splintered, some maintaining harmony, others intoxicated by the promise of godlike power. Genetic manipulation extended beyond agriculture or medicine. Rogue scientists began merging human and animal DNA to create chimeras. Workers with brute strength and diminished will. Lionmen, bird-headed guards. Aquatic hybrids, creatures seen in Egyptian art as gods may have been remnants of these experiments. corruption of knowledge. Atlanteans attempted to weaponize crystal energy, building devices that could manipulate, whether cause earthquakes and destabilize enemy territories. What was once a tool of balance became a tool of dominance. The planetary grid began to fracture. Volcanoes erupted. Weather patterns grew erratic. The gods, or cosmic engineers, who seeded Atlantis, intervened, but too late to halt the momentum. Legends across the world speak of a cataclysmic flood. Atlantean records reveal it was not merely divine punishment, but a planetary rebalancing. Their misuse of crystalline frequency destabilized Earth's tectonic plates. Combined with comet impacts, earthquakes, and shifting poles, Atlantis sank beneath violent waves. Some channeled accounts speak of wars with other star civilizations who opposed Atlantis's misuse of technology. Whether literal or symbolic, it echoes a timeless truth. When power is wielded without wisdom, it attracts forces that will inevitably destroy it. Eyewitnesses recorded pillars of fire raining from the sky. Entire cities crumbled into the ocean. Survivors fled in crystalline ships or underground arcs, carrying remnants of knowledge to distant lands, Egypt, Mesoamerica, Tibet. But as Atlantis sank, so too did its secrets, buried not just beneath oceans, but within the subconscious of humanity, waiting for the day we would remember. Asterisk as waves closed over the luminous towers and crystal spires of Atlantis. Not all was lost, for the priesthood had foreseen their fate in visions years before the fall. In hidden chambers far beneath the city, they prepared arc ships, crystalline vessels imbued with energy shielding, powered by the same resonant technology that fueled their civilization. The Exodus high priests and their closest initiates gathered scrolls, 8 crystals, star maps, and genetic archives, loading them onto these craft. In hushed final ceremonies, they encoded prayers into their ship's structure, believing their words would resonate eternally to guide humanity back to wisdom. As tidal waves raged overhead, these ships glowed faintly, submerging into ocean depths, traversing subterranean tunnels that linked to cavern networks across the planet. Arrival in distant lands. Egypt here. They built the first temples along the Nile, designing grand stone structures encoded with sacred geometry. Thoth, an Atlantean priest-king, became deified as the god of wisdom, teaching writing, astronomy, and alchemy. Mesoamerica, some survivors journeyed to lands that would later become the Maya and Olmec civilizations, imparting knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and pyramid construction. Himalayas and Tibet, a group retreated into Himalayan caves, forming mystery schools that preserved esoteric teachings, which would later influence Vedic and Buddhist traditions. Birth a secret. Societies. These survivors formed hidden brotherhoods. The Hermetic Order, tracing lineage to Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus. The mystery schools of Egypt and Greece, preserving Atlantean initiatory rites. Hidden shamanic lineages, scattered worldwide, containing fragments of lost healing arts. Atlantean bloodlines. Legends speak of Atlantean priest-kings, intermarrying with local tribes to preserve genetic memory. Some lineages claim to carry these dormant codes, activating psychic gifts during spiritual awakening. The survivors knew they could not replicate Atlantis immediately. Instead, they planted seeds, teachings hidden within myths, symbols, and temples, awaiting the time when humanity was ready to reclaim its cosmic heritage. Asterisk for those who study forbidden histories, the question remains, where did the gods go? Many Atlantean records describe the gods not as omnipotent deities, but as cosmic engineers, advanced beings from the stars who seeded and guided human evolution. After Atlantis's fall, these beings withdrew to observe from afar. But did they truly leave? Ancient seers claim the gods retreated into other dimensions, continuing to influence Earth through subtle energetic fields. The concept of watchers permeates countless traditions, from the Gregory of Hebrew lore to the Anunnaki of Sumer. Modern mystics believe many of the Atlantean priesthood have reincarnated in this era, drawn back by the planetary call for ascension. Their dreams carry memories of crystal halls, energy rituals, and temple chants, awakening them to hidden missions. Over the past century, channeled messages from beings claiming Atlantean origin have resurfaced. They speak of Earth's coming shift to 5D frequency, reactivation of ancient crystal grids, humanity's collective DNA awakening to its galactic heritage. These communications converge on one truth: the gods have not abandoned us. They await our readiness to stand as equals rather than subjects. Those who travel the astral planes report seeing the ruins of Atlantis still glowing faintly beneath the Atlantic, a spectral city encoded in Earth's etheric field. Some speak of beings still residing there, existing in a dimension just beyond human sight. In silent oceans and quiet dreams, Atlantis whispers, "Remember who you are." Artifacts like the crystal skulls, scattered worldwide, are believed by mystics to be Atlantean data storage devices, encoded with knowledge of healing, frequency manipulation, and interdimensional science. Their geometry amplifies consciousness, enabling those attuned to access their stored wisdom. Today, mass meditations, energy healing modalities, and sound therapies mirror Atlantean practices, DNA activations, mirroring pineal expansions, sacred geometry architecture returning in ecovillagis and holistic centers. Quantum physics beginning to validate energetic truths once dismissed as mysticism. Advanced sonar scans have detected anomalous structures beneath the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Mediterranean seas. Giant geometric formations, walls, and pyramid-like structures hint at submerged cities. Governments remain silent. Officially, these are geological formations. But explorers and whistleblowers claim otherwise, that teams have already recovered Atlantean artifacts with crystalline circuits, challenging known history. As Earth ascends in frequency, ancient codes awaken within human DNA. Dreams of Atlantis, déjà vu upon seeing pyramids. Inexplicable attraction to crystals, these are signs of souls remembering their origin. Atlantis is not just a place. It is a state of consciousness, a memory of when humanity walked as children of the stars, wielding light and love with mastery. Those who buried Atlantis' story did so to protect it. Knowledge of crystal resonance, dimensional portals, and genetic engineering carries power beyond imagination. In wrong hands, it could destroy worlds. Religions demonize Atlantis to control spiritual narratives. Academics dismissed it to maintain linear history models. But the truth remains coded in myths and legends. Sacred geometry in temples worldwide, frequency patterns in ancient chants and mantras. Today, humanity stands at a crossroads mirroring Atlantis' final days. Technological advances outpacing moral wisdom. Genetic experimentation without spiritual responsibility. Environmental imbalance, threatening planetary stability. To avoid repeating Atlantis' downfall, we must integrate technology with consciousness, science with spirituality, mind with heart. Atlantis whispers from beneath the waves, not to tempt us with power, but to remind us, you once walked in harmony with the stars. You can do so again. But only when you remember, true mastery is service, and true knowledge is love. This is the secret of Atlantis, not a cautionary tale of arrogance, nor merely a sunken kingdom beneath the waves, but a reflection of humanity's highest potential and deepest shadow. Atlantis still exists in our dreams, in the codes of our DNA, and in the silent longing for something greater than this fractured modern world. When the last crystal sank beneath the raging ocean, the priesthood left one final prayer encoded in light. When humanity learns to see with the eyes of the heart, and to speak with the voice of truth, Atlantis shall rise again, not from the sea, but within each awakened soul. Atlantis was never lost. It was hidden within us, waiting for the moment we remember who we truly are.